So recently, while scrolling through the awards site, I came across this cool site which is Hills and Kaira, and they have this cool scroll trigger based animation that I really liked. So when you start scrolling down, you reach this section, the services section, and then let me just close this. And when you keep scrolling, the section basically pins itself. The cards basically appear from underneath. They're stacked on top of each other, and when you keep scrolling, the card basically scale in size and then it flies off. Pretty cool. So, and then after you're done, the pinning basically ends and then you're able to scroll. So it's a really cool feature, and I thought, why don't I create something similar? So I came across this. Now, this is a bit subtly different than what we've seen. So we have this intro section, and then as we keep scrolling, we get this services section. It stacks, we get all the different cards coming up. So we have 5 different cards. And when you scroll, the card basically, subtly, it's not too visible to the naked eye. So it basically scales subtly down. And if you've seen the original one, they basically increase in size when they, move out. But this, I've subtly, reduced the scaling, and then the same effect, they basically fly out. The next card, comes in, and then you scroll, the next card also flies. And then you've got the third one, fourth, and then the fifth one stays there as is, and then the pinning ends. You can scroll and then you reach the outro section. So this is what we're going to be building in this video. The source code as well as live link is in the description, so you guys can go and check it out. Also, make sure to check out DiMAAC. I've released a new free templates, as well as we've got paid templates as well, so you guys can go and explore. And yeah, without any delay, let's get started and let's learn to build this. So here I am in my index.html file, and as you can see, we have a bunch of code in here. Now we've got a bunch of CSS, HTML, as well as JavaScript. Now JavaScript, we just have the Lenis code that basically adds the smooth scrolling to your entire app. Now I'm gonna be going into what the actual structure and everything is, but first let me just show you how everything renders in the browser. So here, as you can see, we have this basic intro section, and when you scroll, you can see that we have the smooth scrolling enabled by Lenis. And then when you scroll down, you'd see that we have the services section with a card at the center. And then when you scroll down, we get the outro section, which is same as the intro. Stuff is pretty basic, so let's see what the actual structure is. So if I show you the HTML, so we basically have 3 major sections. We have the intro, that is the intro section that I've shown you. The outro, which looks exactly same as the intro. The only difference is the content gets changed. And then we have the inner or the middle section, which is the stack section or the services section. Now this has a header which stays up, has a bit of padding, and then we have the rest of the stuff underneath that. So we have this stack stage, and then within that we have a stack deck, which holds all the different cards, which are article elements. Now the stack stage and stack deck basically enable the cards to be placed at the center. Now each of the individual cards are placed absolutely, just so that they can sit one on top of the other. So this, as you can see, is not one single card. So obviously it looks as if there's only one, but then the rest of the cards are hiding underneath. So if I show you, so if I hover over this, so this is the card. Now as you can see, we have the other cards as well right over this. So since this is the last card, and by default position absolute places the lastmost card at the very front. So if I were to delete this, you'd see that we have the last second card at the top now. Now let's refresh. So you now know the basic of how the entire structure is. Now if I were to show you the CSS, Now, nothing is too complicated. Now, I'm not going to be going into each of the individual elements and their styling because that's going to make the video long. And also, it's not that complicated to build a card of this UI. It's pretty simple. And then as well as the intro and then the outro sections are way more than basic. So it's very, very basic. So you can, just write it in a few minutes or so. So those should be fine. Now I'm going to be showing you what the structure is. So we have this stack which has the background color min height, overflow hidden, and then a column flex layout, and then some styling to the header with some margin top and then margin bottom. The stack stage basically places it sort of at the center from top and bottom, has position absolute, relative, and then takes in a width of 100%, a minimum of 100% or 100 or like 1100 pixels. And then and then we have the stack deck, which holds all the different cards. So this has a width as well as a height, just so that the cards are within it, and then they have a parent that has some sort of resolution to hold on to, because each of these card would be having an inset of 0, so meaning this. So it's very essential that the parent of the card have width as well as height, just so that the card themselves can have a width and height based off their parents, because we're having this inset 0. So yeah, that's pretty much it. And then we've got some styling to the card based on the data tone attribute that we've set. Now I've already added, the various colors as CSS variables in here, and that's how I'm grabbing these. And then based off the data tone attribute, I'm setting the different colors or the different tones to the different cards. And that's it for the HTML and CSS. Now let's head to the script and let's add our functional JavaScript. So yeah. So first thing that we're going to be doing is I'm going to be grabbing all the different things that we need. So we need the cards. So they have the, dot card as the class selector, and then peak is set to S42. Now what this peak is. Now, if you've seen the intro, you'd see that every card that is under it, or under the front card or the one above, is slightly reduced in size, which is this scale step. And then also they sort of are popping down, and it shows as if they're stacked on top of each other, so they're basically peeking out. So that's what this value is. So we're going to be setting each of the card with a peak value, just so that they're slightly pushed down, and so they are slightly visible towards the end. So that's pretty much it. And then this scale step, basically based off the index of the card, we're going to be scaling it down further, because not all the different cards that you see are have the same scale. The first one would be a bit bigger compared to the next one, and then the last one would be scaled to the lowest possible scaling that we have. So first thing is we create the function stack pose, which basically creates the stacking effect that we have. So what this does, it takes in the index, basically what index is your card at, and what it returns is it returns you a y value based off the index. So whatever is the index, it multiplies that with the peak, and then it returns that, as well as it returns you a scale. Now the scale, the normal scale is 1. So what it does, it takes in the index of your card, multiplies that with a scale step, and then subtracts it from 1, and then it gives you a scale value. What this does is it gives you the stacking effect, meaning not all cards have the same scaling. They gradually shrink in size, and then due to this y value, we can have the the subtle peaking effect. And then what we do is initially what we have to do is we have to set all the different cards. So what we do is we grab the cards, we run a for each, and then we use GSAP set. We grab the card, set as the index, And then initially when the animation starts, the cards are hidden, they're pushed down. So we have a y value of window.inner height, and then we add we multiply with 0.72, and then we also add the peaking effect. So all the different cards initially would have a, based off their index, they would be also placed down a bit differently. So we add I times peak, which basically gives you the extra peaking for each of the individual subsequent cards. And then the scaling. So we have this function or method, and then we pass in the index, we get the scale that it returns, and then multiply that with 0.9. And then we don't want any rotate, and then the transform origin should be from the center of the x-axis or the horizontal value. So we have it 50%. That's it. Now for the GSAP timeline. So let me refresh before this. So now if I refresh, you'd see that the card is if you look very closely, so we have the card, peeking from here. So basically what we have is we have it pushed down. So initially nothing would be visible. And then now when we add the timeline, they would, slowly come in and then place themselves. So we have the timeline and we have the scroll trigger. So it triggers based off the stack element. And when the top of the stack hits the top of the browser window, the animation starts. When does this animation ends? So this ends when we're done with all the different cards. Now keep in mind that all the different cards are given a window inner height of basically the entire screen becomes the playground for each of the individual cards. So when all the different cards are done scrolling, the animation just ends. The pinning needs to be true, and then scrub, which means as you scroll, the animation should progress. So that's also set as true. And then invalidate on refresh, meaning when you refresh or resize, it basically recalculates and then restarts the entire thing. Not restart meaning from the very start, but basically recalculates the twin and then starts or repositions the elements. And then what we do is for all the different cards, we run a for each again, and then we start now adding the timeline. So we add the timeline.to. So what happens is we bring the card and then make them place as what we have discussed while creating the stack post, meaning they should stack on top of each other. All of them should have a different scaling value. And then the easing would be this. We get this duration, and then all the different cards should, animate at a different subtle time. Not everything should start immediately all together. And then after that is done, we add some extra time just so that we have more room to breathe. So after they settle, we have 0.35 seconds of duration of time to breathe. So when you scroll down, nothing actually happens then. So you have a bit of room to breathe. Now when you save, let's refresh, and when I start scrolling, you'd see that it pins, and then the cards, they come in, they settle, and then they stay. Nice. Now we need these to fly out of the screen. So we have the fly at and then the flying. So the fly at is basically the duration after which basically we should start having the fly animation. So we have this duration of 1.35 seconds and then additional of 0.35 seconds. So this timeline.duration gives you the entire duration of the timeline till now, which is stored at this fly at. And then this flying, basically what it does, it removes the last card and then adds that as a new array. Why do we need this? The reason for that is because the flying animation happens for all the different cards except the last one. So we just exclude the last card. Now we run a for each for all the different cards within the flying. So the time is fly at plus the index or the card that we have. And then we also have behind. What this behind is based off the index that you have or the card that is flying, all the different cards that are just behind the current card that is animating. So that's what this behind does. Meaning, if you're at the very front card or the first card is flying, the behind would be excluding the first card, all the different cards that we have. Why do we need this? The reason for that is because when the first card flies out, the rest of the cards scale up and settle with new value. So what we do is we have timeline.to, we target the card, we basically move it out. So we have a negative window.inner height, we multiply it by 1.15 or any suitable value that you feel like. We rotate it, we scale it down, and then we don't want any easing. The duration of the card flying would be 1, and the time would be time. And then after that is done, now let's refresh, and let me just show you first what's actually happening. So there's this, the card flies, and that's it. So what should happen is after the card flies, the behind card should reposition itself. So all the different cards that we have, so all those should recalculate and reposition themselves. So the way they reposition themselves is whatever is the index, just run through the stack pose function and then get the y and add that as the y. Do the same for the scale, no ease, the duration is 1, the time is time. Let's save. And now, as you can see, it's pretty good. Now this extra time here is basically giving in a subtle room for the last card before, the pinning is turned off. So that's pretty much it. And then when you resize, you just want the scroll trigger to refresh. Let's save. That's pretty much it. So you can resize. Let me just, show you. So if you resize, it recalculates and works fine. So yeah, that's it for this video. The source code as well as the live link is in the description, so you guys can go and check it out, as well as I've dropped the link to the awards site as well, so you guys can go and check it out. Also make sure to check out DiMAAC. I've released new templates there, so you got free as well as paid templates, so you guys can go and explore. And yeah, that's it for this video. Meet you guys in the next. Till then, bye bye, take care, and peace.